one of the things we've learned just from doing this research is that there are some things that seem to be common across all companies. So if you don't have any data and you're trying to figure out what you should do to reduce turnover, uh, you think about two populations, which is, one are your brand new employees. And I mentioned the onboarding survey as a way to get at that. Another thing to think about is potential employees. So I've done a lot of work in my career with doing pre-employment testing. And one of the best ways to reduce turnover is to hire people who are less likely to leave. Now that requires a lot more effort than just doing surveys, but that early population and potential population is one that needs to be thought about a little bit differently than your existing employees. Most companies are more focused on keeping employees from leaving, so they're relying on that continuance commitment lever. And what that does is, a very common strategy is to do something like a retention bonus, where I give you a bunch of money, say $100,000, but you have to sign a paper that says, if I quit before the 2 years is up, or whatever the period is that you've established for the retention bonus, then you got to pay all or some of it back. So what you're doing there is you're putting the golden handcuffs on someone. You're not making them want to stay. You're just making it painful for them to leave. And that has some unfortunate the side effects. So instead of doing that, or in addition to doing that, consider creating engagement plans, which are focusing on understanding what individual employees actually want and make them want to stay. So having, really regular and effective career conversations can help with this. And, people change. They learn more about their companies and their jobs and their own values change. So you need to do this at least once a year to do that. But, whether people want to stay or leave is an individual decision. So it's important that supervisors get good at this. And if not supervisors, then a mentor, but someone needs to be having these conversations, which, we would use to kind of drive that affective commitment. And then finally, the focus, you can never go wrong with focusing on the supervisor. We promote people from individual contributor roles to supervisor roles, almost always based on how good they were at being an individual contributor. And this is a completely different skill set than what we're expecting them to do once they become supervisors. In some areas like sales, it's not, you don't see quite the fallout rate that you do in areas like IT or engineering. Because salespeople, having social and influence skills is part of their role. So the supervisor stuff comes a bit more naturally than it does for someone who is hired because they're really good at writing Python code. That doesn't, help you one bit uh, in in supervising your employees. So, find the right people to become supervisors, promote them there, and then train them and develop them and make sure that they're effective. If you haven't a way to measure their effectiveness, upward feedback is often something that can be helpful if you want to figure out something that you can actually measure in that.